Good morning, Warriors! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. It is early in the morning. I wanted to kind of get one done before the day started so that I can kind of get things done during the day and not have to be a little tired and work on this as I go through the day. So, we are talking today about weightlifting and semen retention. A couple people mentioned this in some of the topics, and I'm starting to catch up a little bit, but we have lots of topics that we're going to continue on. One of them, and a few people have mentioned, is weight training and semen retention. So we're going to talk about that. But first, please go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, donate. All those things are greatly appreciated. And it's important to recognize what we're doing here. Guys, we're not trying to, and some people have commented on this, we're not trying to get rid of your semen. We're not trying to get rid of that. In fact, that's a vital force. Just because you retain does not necessarily mean that it's going to be some horrific type of thing. Though the media and though the world may tell you that this is deadly and a health problem, right? It really isn't. The idea is you're trying to save stuff inside of you that God's given you. And once again, God has given you his temple. Why would he want you to release things for a certain pleasure? I was talking to a bunch of young people today about this. What was the purpose of them sleeping around with a bunch of people? And they didn't really know. They basically said, well, it's pleasure, and obviously that sort of thing, short-term pleasure. But a lot of younger people, and we're talking about ages, within, college, early college, maybe the first couple years of college, they're not totally sure why they do all of this. It's something that they think is important, and it makes them feel good. But when you look at this idea, you're losing your soul, not only your energy, but your soul, as you do this over and over again. In fact, you may lose physical energy, you may lose emotional energy. All those things happen. So we'll talk about this in another episode. But the idea, guys, we're not trying to say, okay, you're going to just get rid of all the semen or all your seed. No. What you're doing is transmuting that energy into good. Now, of course, if you're going to have a child, that is good. That's a purpose that you're using that God, in my opinion, wants you to do. But using it just as pleasure to watch pictures or to just have a relationship with somebody and that person really means nothing to you, you're just doing it as an exercise. Basically what it is. And so the key is to try to use that energy to transmute it, to make you successful, to make you a lot more efficient in things you do, and to serve God's purpose, and therefore helping the world every day that you're alive. So the key then is, how do we use this when we transmute it into other things? And so part of the transmutation then is focusing on how can we use energy into other things. So one of the things that we talk about is exercise. Exercising is crucial when it comes to transmuting, because what you're doing is you're moving all the energy throughout your body. And as I said, we've talked about deep breathing types of things, exercises to be able to do that. What you're trying to do is you're trying to kind of use that energy and now use the workout. And exercising is very crucial to this. You need to use your muscles to kind of make sure the energy is using it. So when you use your muscles and you're walking or you're doing just basic energy exercises, you're using energy. And so the energy is no longer potential. All of a sudden it becomes active kinetic energy. This is why if you don't work out for weeks, it is really hard then to go to the gym that first day again. Now once you do it, now you activate that energy again inside of you. And now you're working out. So just as though you're trying to break down foods in your system, by exercising, you're turning all that protein into muscle by exercising. Exercising is using muscles. I always go back to that Willy Wonka thing again. People sitting in bed for 8 years, they can't move. The muscles are the key. You're using the muscles. Now, how does this affect types of exercises? Well, of course, weight training is a huge one. I still do weight training. And I'm 61. I've been doing it for years. Now, I've changed my regimen as time has gone on. I don't do the heavy bench pressing and powerlifting that I did when I was younger. I do small repetitions to build a muscle because I want to be more lean. I don't want to be massive. I don't need to be massive. I was playing football back in the old days. I was trying to be more massive. I don't need to weight lift that same way. So I do barbells. I'll do a little bit of benching, small weights. I'll do a lot of push-ups, all the types of things to build the muscles, because whatever you're eating, and I stay away from a lot of the carbs. I try to have protein, vegetables, those type of things. Those things will help you build more of that energy, and now you're transmuting energy into something else. And just the fact you're lifting hard weights and you're pushing things automatically gets you away from thinking about women and all these other things. And so you're getting away from the temptation of all these other things you're doing. You're not going to worry about drugs when you're working out. You're not going to think about gambling when you're working out. You're not going to be thinking about alcohol when you're working out. This is why it's crucial to keep working out. I don't care if it's weight training, obviously is very important, building the muscle, breaking the muscle down, having the proteins build it up. Even at my age, I see that happening. And obviously the body changes as you get older, but there's no reason why you still can't do this stuff. And the Fountain of Youth exercises, actually, they tighten the muscles. All these exercises we've been going over, and if you look at the book, you'll see that, it focuses on you becoming a lean individual, which is the way I think God wanted us to be. I think God put football in the Bible, right? It talked about being massive, 400-pound people. So as time goes on, once you stop playing football, like I've seen a lot of my friends, they haven't stayed in shape. And it's hard to lose that weight if you haven't had a system set up before you were playing football to exercise. So the weight training becomes really important because you're trying to push it. Now let's look at what weight training is. Almost like push-ups. You're pushing a weight. That means you need to put tension on things. You push against the wall, you push against the floor, you're creating a tension. This is where you build the muscle because you're pushing against tension. It's almost like you're pushing against the wall or the floor. The same thing with weightlifting. You're lifting a weight and you're going up and down. You're doing curls. You're doing bench press. You're pushing up against something. This force, the collision between you and the floor, ends up making you stronger because your muscles have to keep pushing harder, and it builds the strength. So obviously the way you eat affects that as well. And obviously semen retention is a huge factor. So you should be able to have the type of energy and the focus if you're transmuting and you're doing things with this energy to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to put together a weightlifting program. Now, if you're young, put everything you want in the program. I think as you get older, you have to kind of think to yourself, what are my purpose in training? If you're playing for a team, like a sports team in football, something like that, you obviously have a certain type of training. But as you get older, you're training more for health and basically just kind of vitality and strength. I don't go along the theory, guys, is as you get older, you should do less and less. I think you need to be smart about the type of exercise you're doing, yes. But certainly there's no reason why I think that if you're at 60 or 50 or 70, there's no reason why you can't keep pushing it. I think the fear, again, just like the fear in anything that they're giving in society, is that somehow you're going to get a heart attack or anything like that, because you're working too hard. I haven't seen too many people. Now, there's been a few runners, but I think they had other types of issues over the years. I haven't seen too many people who are going full blast who are going to kill themselves. I have not seen that over the years. I've seen it more with inactivity, and the person becomes, kind of stale and stagnant, and they're not moving. Yeah, I've seen that happen a lot. So your chances, the more active you are, obviously research shows that, the more active you are, the chances are you're going to live a lot longer and healthy. Now, obviously, according to God's rules and genetics and everything else, But the idea is you're trying to better yourself. Once again, goes back to goals, goes back to ideas. I don't care how old you are, and I fully believe this at 61 years old. It doesn't matter your age. It matters what's in here and what's up here, and your faith in what your purpose is. And God is telling you that you need to kind of stay in shape. He's given you a body, a temple. What are you doing with it? That's a good question. I wasn't always doing things well with it over the years. Growing up in the late 60s, early 70s, I saw a lot of interesting things over the years. And you see lots of different periods of time where people do things. And some people, we all get brainwashed in what's accepted in society because the masses are doing this and they think, well, this is the right thing to do. And it wasn't until over the years went on, I realized that the Bible is a lot more accurate than our society is about what's right and wrong. And this is why societies fall all of a sudden. It took an hour to destroy Babylon. It took an hour to decide Sodom and Gomorrah. The Roman Empire fell quickly, and that's something that happened right away. But, it wasn't right away, but it still happened very quickly. So the idea, guys, is this. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And this is talking about exercising now. Now, the idea then is that you have to exercise, in my opinion. Now, what you do is up to you. Obviously, you need to kind of look at yourself, and each person is different. But I highly recommend some level of weights. Now, when I talk about weights, I mean this push and pull. What you're doing is exerting force and tension. The tension makes you stronger. That builds the muscle because now you need more and more push to push something. To get up with a push-up, to do 100 push-ups or a pull-up. Those things build muscle because you're working against yourself, your own body weight. Obviously, if you lose weight, and I've been losing a few pounds lately, now you're all of a sudden, the push-ups become easier. Why? Well, you're not pushing as much weight up anymore. Maybe it's a 10-pound difference, 15-pound difference. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end this one. You guys have a great day today. I hope you guys continue on your battle plan, continue on your purpose, and continue to work hard at becoming the best you can be. And the first key to that is self-discipline. I teach too many people that I'm seeing during the day who basically have no idea that they need to be self-disciplined. They need to learn this power within them. A lot of people don't think they have it. A lot of people don't believe God, and they don't believe they have that part of them that says, I can do this. And I'm telling you guys, you can. So warriors, keep the battle up. And once again, as I always said, two things I say. Every day is a new day to a great warrior. And again, God bless you guys. And the second thing I say, you know what's coming. It's battle on, my friends, battle on.